Konnichiwa to yokozo, which for those who don't speak Japanese, that is hello and welcome. This is Brandon's log. This is the third vlog that I've done so far. And I'm going to get straight to the point because I learned from last time I have bullet points to help my brain work. Now, today is Wednesday, and I did mention yesterday on the last vlog that Wednesday is the major stage production, where we pick our own groups. I'm in a group of 8, which is the maximum we can have. And we come up with, either we find a script somewhere, or we devise our own kind of performance that should be between 30 to 50 minutes long. Now, I did speak yesterday about the themes that we had kind of come up with. Some of them have gone out the window, but we do maintain quite a strong idea and what we want to do. To start off with, we're going to devise our own because we're up for the challenge, essentially. Now, what we came up with today is we kind of talked a lot, we kind of shared all the research that we pulled together. We've got our jobs that everyone's going to be doing. But first, we kind of assigned ourselves what we're going to do next week. Because although we don't have a narrative yet, we're in the middle of coming up with it, essentially. And our lecturer Michael, he came to us and said that it's best not to have a narrative if you're devising straight away, because then you kind of confine yourself from creative, inputs or out-the-box ideas. So basically, we're going to have a concept. We're going to do as much improvisational work and workshops. That's essentially next week. We're going to do a whole workshop of improvisation, impro games, stuff like that, which we're all going to research and bring a game in so we can all play. It's going to be a nice laugh. We're going to get some stuff from it. See if anything good comes from it. We'll write that down. But we've stuck with the themes of kind of a fantasy world. We do want a fantasy world, and we want to change characters a bit, kind of be like one character, but show two sides to that character is kind of what we had in mind. Now, the other kind of elements that we kind of really stuck in there is this image of a door, that there is going to be a door on stage, and there's kind of debate what we're going to do, what we're not going to do kind of thing. Some people think it might be best to not go through the door and just have the characters wonder what's behind the door. Shall we open it? Is that going to be a big deal? And there are others that think we should go through the door and enter the fantasy world. Kind of a Narnia, Alice in Wonderland kind of situation. Wizard of Oz was another one that was thrown out, to kind of take inspirations from those. And going back to the whole idea of showing two sides of the character, we were thinking that obviously in the real world we'll be more rounded as a character, showing basically a variety of complex thoughts and, more importantly, emotions here, with highlighted one. And then once we enter this fantasy world, that one slightly heightened emotion will become explosively huge. And again, this may come from a recent release called Inside Out, where we all portray a different emotion. The extremes of that emotion in this situation, which we've still yet to come up with, but we'll do by next week. Now, another thing that we thought on was, most people will making their devised or running from scripts that are going to be quite serious. We all thought that when people get together and devise, sometimes, most of the time, people come together and go, oh, let's make something really depressing to make people feel and reflect on themselves, because I don't know why people do this. My personal opinion is that when people come together to devise something, their main goal is, I want to make the audience cry. Not feel, cry. And most of them do come up with sad stories. Like, there's lots of stuff that happened during my A-level experience where all the device pieces were some sort of tragic story. Either be very upbeat and then twist to be very sad and actually quite depressing. With the exception of one in the first year of my A-levels, where another group did do a comedy about two old ladies and their tour guide, which was, really good. It was nice to... It's refreshing, is what I'm saying. It's refreshing to see comedy when there's so much abysmal, depressing stuff around. To which that works in my favour, especially with acting comedy, writing comedy. I love the stuff. I can't get enough of it. Jokes galore, essentially. So we're opting for more of a dark comedy. Maybe push the boat out a little. Not get too offensive, but, just cutting edge, I'd say. That's what we're aiming for. Which hopefully with these improvisational games, that's what we'll get. We'll get some funny situations happen. We'll get maybe some low blow hitter jokes, And all of that will be compiled to make quite a good piece. Now, obviously, thinking of characters and how to get them all together, again, this is just our first idea that we're a group of strangers that just have to come together to work towards, or to, hide, or, keep at bay some sort of common objective. Like, the main idea to come through for that was, there's 8 of us, but there was 9, and, he's behind the door, he's in the fantasy world, and we either have to work together to go save this guy, to find this guy, or this guy entices us in, kind of thing. That's what we've kind of come up with first. And we want to stick to this theme quite in a fantasy way. Fairy tales are also quite high up on the agenda, as in most of the girls in my group, they watch this TV series called Once Upon a Time, which I have not seen, but know quite a bit about because my girlfriend also watches Once Upon a Time quite a lot. Well, quite a lot, she's caught up. But she does show me the occasional stuff, so I know what it's about, ish. I know bits and bobs of storyline. To which, I can see the intrigue. It's a new take on people's favourite fairy tales, and, make-believe characters from Disney, and obviously, before Disney, the Grimm brothers. Now, with fantasy, we did talk about set, and Chrissy made a good point because she's doing makeup. She had loads of pictures of what she wanted to do with her, makeup designs. This will be what it'll be like in the fantasy world, and it's like kind of, we need a combination of practicality as well, because we're not makeup artists. I mean, Chrissy's quite good from what I have seen. I don't know, I've not let her work on me, and this needs a lot of work. And Gemma was on set, and she showed quite a few photos of different fantasy sets, mainly Alice in Wonderland, when they put it on stage. And she's saying, we're not quite expecting this, but there were these trees, and also some, it was a dress, I believe, made out of newspaper. Well, the trees weren't made out of newspaper. The dress was made out of actual newspaper, but the trees weren't. They were just made to look like they were made out of newspaper. As in, it looked like it was obviously some sort of stand that looked like a tree, and they covered it in newspaper print, but, enlarged, so you thought, oh, okay, so it's a small cutout from a newspaper, but it's huge, which means we're small, which was very cleverly done. And I've come in with lighting because I've been put on the technical side of things, and I came up with the idea that when we're in the fantasy world, yellow and orange would be the main focus of lighting, because it would be bright, it would be fun, it would be this and that. And then when it's in the real world, it's, kind of white, blue wash kind of thing. Again, it's just a preliminary idea. I don't know the full scale rigging of the lighting that we have available, which I'll get to learn that later on, hopefully. And that'll be quite exciting, that'll be quite good. Other than that, I've really babbled on quite a lot this time. Gone on for 11 minutes now. Ooh. But yeah, we had tons of ideas, lots of things to say. Oh, we also did, we want soundscaping as well, so that would be quite, fun, especially if we're going to record it and do it over the top, because we were just going crazy with animal noises, because we thought, oh, well, let's do an animal noise, what would be quite creepy and quite fantasy-like, to which obviously I present an owl, because I can do this little thing with my hands, just, hang on. Yeah. And basically we just did loads of animal noises for the last 20 minutes or so, which was quite funny. But relevant is the main point. After that, I went round my mate Charlie's again. We do work and we watch TV series together. And yeah, that was my day. That about wraps it up. Thanks for listening again. Sayonara.